Welcome to today's episode of Make It Work. My name is Ochoba Okamochoba, your host. Here in Make It Work, we deal with issues around empowerment, leadership, human capital development, capacity building, relationship, and marriage. And I want you to understand that you can make it work. You can make your life to work. You can make your business to work, your relationship, your marriage. Whatever you lay your heart to do, you can make it work. And of course, you understand that nothing works unless someone works it. And here in Make It Work, we learn how you can make it work. And today, we'll be discussing the topic that says, nurture your nature. Nurture your nature. What does it mean to nurture your nature? It means to mold that way you were made. It means to sharpen. It means to prepare. It means to mold. It means to put in the right shape the way you were made. And then we are reading from Matthew chapter 25, going down from verses 14 to 30. You see in Matthew 25, 14 to 30 about a parable, a story about a man that was traveling to a far country, and then he had servants, and one he gave them talents. One he gave 10 talents, 5 talents, 2 talents, as the case may be. And then in that story you see that the one that was given 10 talents traded with it, 5 talents traded, and all that. And then the one that was given the least talent, instead of trading with it, went and hid it. And when the master came back and asked, where's, and all of those 10, 5, all of them came back to bring the outcome, the results, the input, the outcome, everything, what they had traded and what they had achieved. So after presenting, the one that had the least talent came out empty-handed. And the master asked him and said, what happened? What have you achieved with this? He said, I know you are a very obscure man and all that. So I didn't want to have issues or join issues with you. So I had to go, hide it. Open the head, feed it, and then covered it. And waited for you to come back so I can give it back to you. And the man was very angry and said, why didn't you at least, if you don't want to trade with it, why didn't you give it to treasurers? Let them trade with it and at least give me interest. And then he got his punishment. Now, friends, you need to understand that everyone has got a nature. Something you were born with. And your lifestyle is to identify that nature. God has blessed you with something. You are endowed with something. You can call it talent. You can call it nature. You can simply call it currency. And I want to call it your life currency. Something that God has given you to trade with. That's your currency. And then your life task is to find it out. What is it? And then nurture it. So most times you are what you saw in yourself. Let me take that again. Most times in life, you are actually what you saw in yourself. I'm going to take it the third time. Most times in life, you are actually what you found in yourself. And that thing you have found in yourself, possibly you were born with it as strength. Others will call it talent. Others will call it an advantage. Is actually your nature. And your life task is to nurture it. And then, how do you identify it? Number one, you understand that it revolves around what you love to do, and you actually do it well. And it also includes what you do easily, and you do it with ease, and doing it gives you joy. It also has to do with what actually takes your attention what takes your time. Again, it could include something that you love to do and you are passionate about working hard to know about it, and even sometimes to love doing it. That's your nature. When you see people that have that nature, that form or talent, if you like, or advantage, if you like, you seem to love them, you seem to get attracted to them. That is your nature. When people flow in that area or dimension, it gives you joy. You appreciate them. They become your model. They become stars to you. So that is your nature. So how do you nurture your nature? And I've told you that to really nurture your nature is to sharpen that thing that God has blessed you with. To put yourself, to put your advantage, your talent in the best form. That's what it means to nurture it. To do a thorough work on it. That's what to nurture your nature means. And so, how do you do that? Number one, you need to identify that nature. Most people go through life without actually identifying their talent, their area of strength, their area of advantage. Most people don't even identify it. You ask them, what do you want to be and what do you want to do? Instead of looking inwards, they begin to look outward, outside. But to actually nurture your nature, you need to identify your advantage, your areas of advantage, areas that you do well, things that you do with joy, things that take your attention, skills that you can learn without much stress. That's your nature. Areas of comparative advantage. So you need to identify it. In fact, your first life task is to identify it. Everyone that was ever successful in life identified that area of his life or her life that he or she is more talented in or more naturally endowed in. That is why you see athletes, because they see that they have athletic dispositions. That is why you see actresses and actors, because they have the ability and flair for acting. You see people in different professions, they've looked at themselves and in fact they identified that advantage that they have. Can I even add that your talent is your advantage, your nature is your advantage, and that's what sets you apart from the next person. And so when you identify that nature, what do? You train it. Now I want you to understand that identifying your nature is not just enough. Yes, the nature that works for you is the nature you have trained. And so if you need to go to school to learn about it, go to school. If you need to attend whether formal or informal training in the area of your strength or advantage, you need to do that. If you need to attend conferences and seminars and then submit to mentors that have that area of advantage that can groom you, so what are you waiting for? So training is very important. And any nature that you are nurturing and you stop training, you stop improving. So training is important. And you can't come to mastery without training. You can't achieve mastery even without training. Training brings you to mastery. So that's very important. So identify it, train it, then number 3, you need to practice it. Now practice is consistently engaging that area of advantage. Practice is consistently putting it to work. You might not actually be perfect, but when you begin to practice, you become perfect in that area, because they have always told you that practice makes perfect. So the gateway to perfection is practice. You want to master something, practice it. You need to become the best in that area, practice. Friends, practice is very, very important in nurturing your nature. And again, prepare it and prepare for it. You must have this disposition to always be ready to release or function in the area of your advantage. Preparation is very important. Now what is the difference between practice and preparation? In practice, you are actually working hard to improve, working hard to be in your right and best form. But in preparation, you are getting ready for opportunities. You are getting ready to function. At the point of practice, the person watching you is yourself. Your audience is yourself. Your crowd is yourself at the level of practice. But at the level of preparation, you are not looking at your audience. There is an audience that you have, either target market, target audience, but at the point of preparation is opportunity that you are playing onto, is opportunity you are looking at. And finally, for you to nurture your nature, you need discipline. Several highly talented people, several highly talented, empowered people in life ended up badly because they didn't have discipline. Discipline prepares you, discipline helps you, discipline makes you to remain consistent. Discipline shows you what to do and what not to do. In fact, many people have endangered their careers because they didn't have discipline. A lot of people's life have been, a lot of careers and destinies and future and very bright talents have been destroyed by lack of discipline. And lack of discipline brings a lot of scandals around your life, damaging your reputation, damaging your advantage. And I want you to know that for you to nurture your nature, you need to be disciplined. And if you become and decide today to become disciplined, then you are going to see how far you are going to go. Thank you very much for being part of today's broadcast. And until I come your way again, I want you to know that you can make it work. Thank you, and God bless you.